Well, when everything decides to go phooey, I'm not going to work for you today. Welcome back. This is part 2. William here, and we are still back on the Gold Cube, and we're going to go ahead and do a cleanup. And this will be a pretty quick one. So hang tight. I'm going to go ahead and pull the top tray here now that I don't have a tripod to work with. We'll have to just do this how I did it back in the old days. Alright, I am back. And I'm going to take you in here onto the Vortex mats. You can clearly see. No. Maybe you can't. Now with the goofy camera that I've got. There's flakes in there, and I can see it. They were kind of stuck up here on this far corner, and they were just kind of hanging out. And they slowly migrated back down in here, and they're now buried up in this black sand. I could have probably ran for another maybe 15 minutes or so, but I get too impatient with things like this, so we're just going to go ahead and just run with what we got. I'm going to throw this in my pan here real quick, and we're going to see what we got. Alright, so I went ahead and took off the first tray. Got that up in there. I'm going to run my sprayer real quick in there. And there's the second tray. You can see absolutely no black sands up in that setup. It's kind of neat. If you kind of look at the back side of this, I'll show you here once I get that tray cleaned. You'll see it. There's like a little spiel that sticks down in there, and it acts like a super vortex. Takes out all the black sands, gets it separated, agitate it up and down through all these mats, and boy, does it do a good job at it. Alright, let's see here. Some lead shot. Lots of lead shot, I see that. There's a couple shiny I can see visibly with my eye. I can't see them on the camera, but I can see them visibly with the eye, so that's gonna be an interesting one to do. Alright, just turned her back on. Got my thing going pretty good. Decent spray on there if I need to give it a little bit more of a shot. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a wash down real quick. And I'll probably turn it around and do all that jazz too. Get all of it to wash on down here. Unfortunately, the hair never goes anywhere. It just stays up in there. So like I said in part 1, yeah, no matter how many times I tweeze out all the hair, I end up finding more of it in there every time. But it doesn't affect grabbing that gold. Doesn't affect it one bit. Again, I don't got to worry too much. This is the top of the tray. I'm going across it just to get the migrated gold up out of there real good. And I'm going to probably turn this around here in just a second. Alright, I'm going to turn this around. This drained off real good. Give it a wash in there real quick. There we go. Turn it around. Alright. There we go. And I'm going to just go after it again. Like I said, there's the hair. Alright, here we go. Just a real good wash down. And trust me, all of it stays up in there. So you really got to wash these good. Really got to wash these good. Looks good there. And give it a look. And here I got some right about there, it looks like. Get that gone. And washed on down. And you can do this with just a hose too. I mean, it works both ways. But I preferred something I could control. So, and I don't think it really affects the pump much. Doesn't hurt it. Does pretty good. Now, I got the 4-stack deluxe. So with that one, it comes with a set of extendable bars that you can turn around and run a marine battery on this sucker. And that's actually pretty good. It's an actual ingenious thing to do. I'm going to run this kind of kittywampus like that for a minute. So I'm going to get the rest of it gone. Right there. I knew it wasn't going to quite get out of there. And I'm going to have to go both hands. You won't be able to get to see that little bit in the corner that I'm trying to fire at. But this mat is about done. It's about washed out. Looks really good. And I'll show you all that material here in just a minute. I'll get that all up in a pan. There she is, all cleaned up. Not bad at all. This thing grabs literally all of it. So I can't wait to get up in there, and I'm going to throw that in a gravity trap. And I'll pan that out real quick for you so you can see. Alright, I went ahead and grabbed what I could for right now out of the big guy. And as you can see, got one nice one there. Bunch of little tiny guys. Yeah, those things are really grabbing at all that super tiny gold too. There's a bunch more in there. I just couldn't grab it all. But there's a bunch in there. So I can't wait to see that second one and see what that does. Hopefully that one is going to be really, really nice. So we're going to go ahead and add this to my pot, and then I'm going to go off to the second tray. Alright, that is in the pot, ready to rock. So we're off to the second tray. Here we go. Alright, that second mat is in the pan. I'm going to go ahead, get that squared away here. And after that, I got to give my hands a rest for a second. Gotta love it. It gets kind of cold in the basement. So, oh, there, look at this. Look at that. You'll never guess what that is. That's more lead shot. So there was some lead shot that must have escaped my strainer and just got stuck in the bucket. I kind of figured it would end up happening that way. So we're going to go ahead, have some fun with that in a minute after I get this panned out, and I'll show you what's in there. Wanted to take a moment here and just kind of show you guys that this is that second one, and as you can clearly see, I've got very little in there. I got that little one that's kind of, well, you can't really see it with the camera, which really sucks, but it's in there. It's a tiny little bit. So that first mat really captured everything that was in that quarter bucket. So that's really good. That is super good. So hopefully that's going to be about the same thing as what this is, but I'm still going to go ahead and roast it up and just give it a good good cooking. That's what's going to happen next after I get this all washed up. It's going in the pot, and then it's going to go out and get roasted. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to that one here in just a second. I also want to add this to the video now. Pay attention, this is still 2017's run. I did a bunch of hand panning to some of this. I actually sat down outside and took a wash tub and went through, I think, all 5 buckets. Because I went back with Brandon like the very next day, and we went nuts just grabbing as much of this as we could. And I panned a bunch of gold up out of this stuff. So it's kind of awesome that I'm still seeing it coming up out of these mats. So this is super cool. So I'm going to go ahead and go on to the third, and that'll be it for that. And then I'll show you the pot after I'm done. Alright, I just finished up washing that into the pan here, and we're going to go ahead and see what goodies are in here. I don't anticipate much in here, but we're going to have a look-see anyway, and just to be sure. But I tell you what, my first impression when I was doing all the rest of this, just kind of testing it out, It's just incredible. All my gold is usually trapped up in that top tray. It doesn't move. Even that super fine flat stuff, it just stays stuck. It either ends up staying right up here along the top of this, or else you'll see it about the first 10 or so rows. Right about in here. Right about in here. That's where I usually get to see it. And usually if it's like, if I just ran super heavy like we just did, I noticed on that case where if I don't get it real good, it'll start sticking. Now I got one right there on the bottom, it looks like. It's either that or that's a stone. It could be a stone. I had to tweeze a few chunks of fur out of here. But I tell you what, it just keeps grabbing and grabbing and grabbing. I love this machine. So guys, I've been fighting with this pan, would you believe it, for almost 15 minutes because I kept thinking I was seeing something super fine in the corners of here. So I had to go out back upstairs to my lab. I went and grabbed my jeweler's loupe, and what I could see was super fine, tiny micro gold that was all up in there. And eventually I'll turn around and get the attachment for my phone and my my GoPro if they got one or something like that, so that way you guys get to share in the experience. And I'll show you what's all up in there, but it's so super fine. And it's all right up in here. All right up in here in this long edge, this leading edge. You can kind of see, if the phone will focus, every once in a while you'll catch a glint. And there's one little speck that sits back here in the corner that I kicked away. And that's not too bad. So it literally grabbed everything. So I suspect that even if I were to make a pan out of what's in the bottom here, there's probably no gold at all. Excellent capture machine. Absolutely incredible capture rate. So I cannot wait to get into 2018s and 2019s, and then finally into my super fines that I got sitting over there. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in the pot, and I'll show you the collection. And there we have it, guys. There's all of our gold sands. And I'm not done yet with this pot. I'm going to go ahead and give this a bit more. We're going to go ahead and build the gold cube back up, get it hooked together, and get her fired back up. I'm going to run this a little bit, and then I'm going to probably finish up the video. Alright, we'll see you in a minute. Alright, guys. So, just like I promised, I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit of this for you, just to see what we got. See if there's any shiny that come out of there. I got a couple little shiny bits in there. Get that straight down. There it goes. So I sure hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am truly sorry about how things kind of went on part one. But next week, hopefully, I will have Brandon here with me, and he'll be probably working this box while I go ahead and work the mini hog here. Like I said, I cannot wait to get into this and see how well this goes. So if you liked today's video, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like, and be sure to hit your notification bell, because the next few videos that'll be coming out will be doing this here and a lot of refining. So until next time, guys, this is William Clark saying, stay hungry.